The last phase of our all-season program, of course, is this mini camp. Like the way it's set up, the part that's mandatory, where of course where they have to come, is right at the end for you to see exactly what we have. We've done a lot. We've put in gone over most of the situational football opportunities and things like that we need to hit. Feel like we've put the players in positions that we needed to see them in. The depth chart means a little bit more now. That depth chart that we have in our head, at least, there's nothing official. It does mean a little bit right now, but we wanted one last look before we come back and then put on pads for that final piece that we need to go through of the puzzle to get ready for the Panthers. But like everything the guys have done, they show up every day. We have 100% participation. When I say participation, I'm talking about guys being here, doing all they can do. We have some players that's injured. Deshaun Golson hasn't done any work really for the most part this off season, but he's taken a lot of mental reps. I hear his voice every day for sure out there. You guys know Deshaun. Mark Barron is getting better. It's good to get Carl Nix back out here. Then hopefully, though, when we come back the next time around, for training camp, we have everybody ready to go. We probably have a few more hamstring injuries than I'd like right now, but that's a part of it too, for guys to see exactly how we do things. I'll take your question.
Coach, what are your expectations for Carl Nix at the beginning of training camp? He said today he'll probably be a little bit modified, his schedule, but how much do you think he'll be able to do, and are you pleased with his progress as much as you know about it at this point?
Well, I'm going to piggyback on what just said, Roy. As much as I know about it right now, Carl hasn't been around as much as some of the other players, but he was here Monday when we had official physicals and passed his physical. From there, he has a long ways to go, like all of our players when they initially, start working out with us. But my expectations for Carl, it's the same as for everybody else. We'll just take it one day at a time. We'll kind of see where he is right now, and we have a big break in between. No player has an injury that I'm really concerned about that's going to hinder them starting, as I see it right now, them starting to work out when we come back.
And that includes Carl.
That includes Carl, from what I know right now. And again, I haven't had a chance to see Carl an awful lot out there, but again, he's here. He's excited about being here with his teammates. That's the thing about, some of the rules we have in place. For me, I try not to get too upset about guys for those voluntary practices that we have. You have grown men that make decisions, but this week, of course, they don't get a chance to make that decision, and they're all here.
Coach, you had the rookie Kadeem Edwards working with the first team at left guard. What has he shown you to get in that position, and what did he show you today?
For a lot of our players coming in, what Kadeem showed us is just, things we're looking for. Good body, smart guy, has shown good agility in the drills working with Coach Warhop. But the next step is for him to get in more of the live action with the rest of the group. So that's what, we're looking at a lot of different combinations. We want to see him working with some of the other guys right now. We've been very pleased with our rookie lineman.
You said the depth chart is starting to take on a little bit more meaning to you guys, at least in your head as you see it. Patrick Omame's had a lot of time with the first team at right guard. He was there again today. Is he your projecting? Are you projecting him as your starting right guard? And if so, can you tell us why?
Well, projecting, for him to be working with the group tells you what we think of it on what he's done right now. Yeah, I think he'll be in the mix. I'm anxious to see. But for a lineman, if we talk about some of the wide receivers, some of the DBs, you can probably go a little bit more on what you've seen so far. But for a lineman, it's really about, some technique without anyone on the other side. And you can only get so much from that. We like where he is. He's done everything. I'm excited about the prospects of him, being a good lineman for us, but we need to get to training camp.
Yeah, I know you've added talent on the defensive line, but talk about a piece that was already there. Talk about Gerald. what you see from him, his work ethic, his personality? I mean, does he remind you of anyone? And what do you love about him?
You know, there's just so much to talk about, you know, when you're dealing with Gerald, of course. You know, I saw him there at the end, being the camera guy or sticking his head when Josh was doing his interview. But he just brings life to the building every day. You want your best player to be a little outspoken. You want to hear him. We hear Gerald. You want him around always, and he's around always, front of the line. I couldn't be more pleased with what he's done. Again, we're talking about a superstar. It's no secret. He's getting ready to be able to give all of us a loan if we need it. But, again, he comes to work. He's a good football player. And he would say he's gotten better, though. No one works any harder than him out there. So we have big plans for him. He's going to lead us to a lot of wins.
Lovey, this talk about not overburdening any particular running back, and not just the Bucs, but other coaches have been talking about that kind of stuff. I know that starts the chatter going, Lovey, that Lovey Smith doesn't have a lot of faith in Doug Martin, doesn't like some of these things about Doug Martin. What can you say about that?
Well, you know, if that chatter starts, it should start with me. You say Lovey's, you know, you don't hear that from me. What I've said is that I like Doug a lot. Doug's a good football player, but everywhere I've ever been, if you look at my history, our history, we played more than one running back. You know, we had a great running back in Thomas Jones, and we drafted Cedric Benson and played them both. One running back just can't make it through the season. So that chatter, it's just, you know, that's that baseball chatter before a guy gets a bat. Hey, bat about a swing stuff. They don't pay any attention to that, you know. All right, Doug's a good football player. He knows that. You don't see Doug complaining. He knows our plan, what our plans are for him.
Danny Gore had some couple pick sixes out there.
You were watching practice today.
That's right. That's right, Coach.
Pretty close.
What do you think? You've talked about how much the cornerback position has been important and how much of a competition will be. What will be the main criteria for those guys to win spots?
Well, for Danny, things you're looking for at the cornerback position, you know, Danny has excellent speed, quickness, great acceleration, plant drive, change direction, all those things. He has decent hands. And he can do a few different positions. We played him at the nickel position. Today he played the nickel position inside on the slot. Of course, he can go outside and play the corner. And he made plays. And if you're watching the special teams practice today, great play as a gunner. So very pleased. I let him break down the team out there today. He made plays. And as much as anything, that's what we're looking for. Guys that don't blend in. Just like Lewis Murphy, you know, local guy. Lewis had a couple big plays today. Lewis has been here the entire time, hasn't missed anything, and it's just made play after play. We have a lot of that type of competition going on, of players that were in the background when I first got here that, you know, I'm taking notice. We're taking notice.
How important, Lovey, was it for Mike Evans to get a chance to do some individuals, and what would you expect him to do the rest of the week? Has he missed a lot not being in OTAs?
Oh yeah, Rick, he's missed a lot. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. We wanted Mike taking every rep. As a rookie, you need to take every rep, but, you know, around the league, it happens, especially with a lot of new guys that, you know, those last couple weeks, they're doing a lot of traveling, don't work out exactly how they should. But we saw enough, and we know who Mike is. He's going to help us win a lot of games, but he's gotten better. As far as what he'll do the rest of the week, I don't see him doing a lot more. We need him. We can't let him re-injure that hamstring, so we'll be, you know, cautious with what we do with it.
Going back to the depth chart and the cornerbacks, Rashaan Melvin was pretty much out there with the second-team cornerbacks. Can you talk about what you're seeing from him?
Same thing as we talked about with Danny, but Rashaan has more size, you know. Over 6 feet corners are hard to come by. He has good movement, long arms, can catch the ball. Can't wait to get to camp and put him in more live situation. The preseason is important for a lot of these guys, young players that haven't played a lot. We're anxious to play them and see exactly what they can do. You could say the same thing for Devron Carr, also good player, same type body, done some good things and has had, days where we've really taken notice with him. Should be good competition at that cornerback position. Mike Jenkins has done well. That's why having a player like Alteron Verna out right now doesn't really hurt us that much to get a chance to look at some of these other guys.
You talked about Tim Wright, and he's taking advantage of some of the reps that maybe Austin Safarian Jenkins would have if he was allowed to be here. But what have you seen from Tim that you like?
I think he's a great matchup for what we want to do in the passing game. And Austin will be playing more of the Y position. Tim will be playing more of the H move type position. But we like splitting him out. The matchup with if you put a linebacker on him, we should win that. Tim wins most of those. Safety is the same thing, but runs excellent routes. He can block better than probably he's getting credit for. Another guy that's just come to work every day, and we've taken notice. He'll be a part of what we're doing. We have plans for him in our offense. Whether it's, of course, most of it is through the pass.
Content with the group of guys trying to return punts at this point, how they're catching the ball or at times not catching the ball?
We've, and that's, I've made the statement we're going to win games with our kicking game. And at times we haven't caught the ball as well as we need to, but they're getting better. And we have potential back there. But, that's the same thing. It's, if you put me out there, Rick, and threw, with the jugs by 10, I might catch one. In the stadium, it's a little bit different, so we got to get to games too. I'm saying that about a lot of our football team, but that's kind of how it goes in your first year. But we have some guys that can. We have some that can catch the ball a little bit better than others. We have some, if they catch the ball, they can do things with it. And so we have possibilities back there.
Now that you've had a chance to coach Michael Johnson for a few months, what do you like about him, and has anything about him surprised you?
No, you guys watch practice. Our D-line works hard every day. All of our positions do, but just the position in itself, individual. Once you make it through individual, they exhale a little bit. Michael has looked good in everything that we've done. He has to be a pass rusher that can get to the quarterback off the edge, which he should be able to do. Playing with a guy like Gerald next to him, like we said early on. But he's got to win those matchups. Against Carolina, he's our right end. He knows what he's going to do, where he's going to line up. If we talk about the depth chart, I can tell you right now, if he's healthy, he's our starting right end, and we're going to go from there. Thank you very much.